What's up, fellow adult collectors? Welcome to SeViLion Collectibles. In this video, I'll be reviewing Mandy Rose from the WWE Elite Collection Series 75. Personally, I don't really like to spend a whole lot of time on the package itself or the unboxing part, so let's go ahead and get her out and on the display stand on her own. I've kind of slowed down on reviewing WWE figures just because by the time I get them, it's already pretty late in the review game, and other channels have probably already covered them pretty heavily. However, with this Mandy Rose figure, it caught my attention well enough that I wanted to go ahead and share my admiration with you guys. If this is your first time landing on my channel, hi, my name is SeViL, and here I like to discuss action figures and other collectibles based on my favorite movies, TV shows, and video games. If you enjoy this video, please give me a thumbs up and drop a comment below. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell. The new reveals portion of the video will come after a thorough look at Mandy Rose. Now, let's take a good close head-to-toe look at Mandy Rose, both front and back. The sculpt of her upper body does use a lot of new parts that are unique to Mandy, but in the lower half they start to repeat a lot of older pieces. In real life, Mandy Rose is a pretty big fitness guru that's been featured in many magazines outside of wrestling. Mandy's passion for fitness has led to her having one of the most built and toned bodies in WWE. In my opinion, this figure does a really good job of capturing the look of that passion. Along with that, the pieces showcasing Mandy's gear are totally new sculpted parts. The trunks aren't quite right, but the piece for her top is nearly perfect. Her legs are made entirely of reused parts from previous figures, but of course it has been repainted to match her gear. Most of it is done pretty well, but I wish they'd done something different around the ankle peg. The missing parts of the S and E really bugs me, but at least it is consistent from one side to the other. Some other slight paint mishaps are around the sculpted lines for her gear, where the black and the flesh tones kind of cross over a little too much in some areas. But that sort of thing is fairly normal for Mattel. Just real quick, I want to go back and show some really close zoomed in pictures of her face, because to me, that's where this figure really stands out, using that True Effects technology. In my opinion, this is the absolute best likeness translation I've seen from any of my WWE figures. The only downside to the face looking so great is in comparison, you see how poorly the hair is painted. I hope that one day Mattel figures out a way to color the hair just as well as they are the faces. With that said, I'm going to pull out some other recent Elite Collection figures to compare Mandy to, starting with Billie Kay on the left and Natalya on the right. Plus, Becky Lynch on the far left, and Asuka on the far right. While I do think these all look good, they don't look as good as Mandy Rose. Here's a few more to compare her to, starting with Ronda Rousey on the left. I'm kind of cheating with her because she's an Ultimate Edition figure, not an Elite. On the right, I have Paige, and then on the far left, I have the Bella Twins, Nikki and Brie, and on the far right, I have Nia Jax and Lita. Just for a separate short comparison, I do actually still have older figures for both Paige and Lita, so I'm going to isolate them to show off those differences. The updates for both Paige and Lita using the True Effects technology shows just how far Mattel has come over the years they've had the license. For Paige, there's a 4-year gap between these two figures. The one on the left is from 2015, while the one on the right is from 2019. With Lita, technically the one on the right is from 2019, but it's the very end of 2019, and I didn't see her in stores until this year, 2020. The figure on the left, though, is from 2016. Back to Mandy, though, I do want to take a quick close look at her primary accessory, the entrance jacket that you saw earlier in the video. It is sculpted pretty nicely out of the typical rubber-like material, so it's not too stiff, but not too soft either. The net pattern on the back, as well as the studs on the front, are all sculpted details and not just paint. Beyond the jacket, Mandy also includes 2 extra swappable hands, but those pieces are a little too big for this character. They're actually the exact same pieces that came with the Billie Kay figure, and in the comparisons you saw earlier, that figure was much taller than Mandy Rose, making her hands a little out of proportion. With all that said though, it's time to run Mandy Rose through my guidelines for a complete and fair review. Right off the bat, I know I didn't actually go over the articulation in this video, but it is all the same as previous Elite female figures, so she does have more than 20 points of articulation. There are enough brand new pieces on this figure to make Mandy Rose unique. The sculpt itself is highly detailed and accurate to the character. However, there are some unfortunate mishaps with the paint that I would file under quality control issues. Mandy does balance really well and is mostly in scale with the rest of the Elite line, plus the roughly $20 price point is fair. She does include a few accessories, most notably the entrance jacket, but she's going to be hard to find. I have personally experienced and witnessed just how sought after Mandy Rose is, and unfortunately, she's only packed one per case, leading my final score to an 8 out of 10 star rating, meaning it's an excellent figure and still a must own for all fans of the character. Therefore, I highly recommend adding Mandy Rose to your collection. And now, as promised, here are some brand new Elite figure reveals presented by Ringside Collectibles on April 2nd. Back at Toy Fair, it was announced that we'd be getting a brand new Elite 2-pack featuring Triple H and the first ever Mattel China figure. At the time, it was just a promotional image featuring the actual people. This is our first time actually looking at the figures. No matter how good that Triple H figure looks, I'm pretty sure every collector who wants this set is only after China. Next up, I have the Fiend, Bray Wyatt, which I know will be a highly sought after figure, and the Ministry of Darkness version of Viscera. Also, there will be updated versions of AJ Styles and Ronda Rousey, along with an old school version of Undertaker. Next up, as a Ringside Collectibles exclusive, we have a 3-in-1 Edge set featuring extra heads for Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder. Some modern fans may not remember this, but Hawkins and Ryder actually debuted as what was called Edge heads when they looked like Edge to impersonate him and help him win matches. The downside of this set is that if you wanted to have all three actually standing together, you'd have to buy it 3 separate times, and then you'd have a lot of extra heads. Now, starting in the digital prototypes, we have an updated R-Truth with the 24/7 title, and an updated Sasha Banks featuring her new blue look. There's also going to be an update for Kofi Kingston, plus a first time ever Elite for Naomi. Naomi will actually have 2 separate figures at the same time, with the Glow version being a chase figure. We'll also have a first ever Elite Matt Riddle, as well as updates for Beth Phoenix and Kane. And finally, still in the grayscale prototype form, is an Elite Rhea Ripley, which I cannot wait for, and an Ultimate Edition Hollywood Hulk Hogan. Due to some missteps in Hogan's personal life, Mattel did lose the license for a few years on making his figures. However, now they're back at Mattel, therefore soon, collectors such as myself should finally be able to get an official NWO version of Hollywood Hogan. Thank you guys for watching, and if you like this video,
get over here!
And subscribe to SeViLion Collectibles.